Hello, welcome to Faith Vocals. We're back in our new base, which has yet to be fully explored. So we've got a nice chasm next door. Got some iron I can be mining later. We're nearly at Y level 11. Got a nice lava pool down here that maybe I can start mining. Oh yeah, and that diamond, so that's nice. And I want to set up a portal someplace. I do not know that I want to set it up too close to base because the portal next to my old base was kind of noisy. Here's another lava pool. Close enough to the first one that it seems almost like the same one, but it's clearly a different shape. It's more square. See, here's the first one. I was wondering if the tunnel's connected over on that side, but maybe under the far wall, maybe it bends around and connects with that lava pool. I mean, obviously the pool I saw over here seems to be isolated, but there's a tunnel that goes around to the back that I'm kind of curious of. So, see, it goes all the way over to that side, so I'm wondering what that's all about. So, looks like a fun new place to start exploring and mining more diamonds. I hear that diamonds kind of generate around the same place as other diamonds. You'll get pockets of diamonds and then pockets of not diamond. I'm not sure how well I'm explaining that. We're going to need ladders so I can get back upstairs. I do have one ladder. Okay. There we go. That flint takes up the whole space, huh? Anyway, I'll figure out where to put the Nether portal in a bit. And then I think maybe this stream we'll see how we might get back home. But first, ladders, and then I can get my bearings. Let's see. I think it usually takes 22 logs for me to make enough ladders to go to bedrock, but we're not quite at bedrock yet, so we'll see if I'm over prepping here. Let's make some room. I felt like the stream yesterday went really well personally. Usually I get done with a stream and I'm kind of nervous. I'm sure I said something stupid. I'm sure I said something I'm going to regret. I feel like this is way too many ladders. I don't know what I did wrong. Oh well. We've got more for the next time we have to move around because like I said, we will have to move in order to keep up with all of the updates that are going to be made between now and when 1.17 comes out. If we want to see the natural world generation, then we're going to... more distractions. Hold on. And then I go ahead and just jump down here to deal with these. I'm hearing a little zombie. Ah! I took barely any damage. That is wonderful. But do I have food because I made tons of bread before I went on the trip. I'm actually doing pretty good. Okay. Now where was I? So I did mention that we were going to be wanting to move around a lot to keep up with the new world generation as there's new updates leading up to version 1.17. Yeah, 1.17, 1.17. And here's another outlet to the chasm. Looks pretty good. There's more diamond down there, definitely. Okay. In fact, I wonder if this would be a good place for the Nether portal. Let me just make sure there's no other tunnels that can lead into this and spawn monsters. There's a sketchy looking tunnel over that way. Oh, I was saying, I felt like the stream yesterday was pretty good. I usually get done with the stream and think that I've probably said something dumb that I'll regret. But I feel like yesterday kind of captured what I wanted to do with this channel, where as a Christian, I do think there is a cultural divide between me and the rest of the world. I just have different values, think in a different way than I believe most people do or would. So, let me check this out. So I liked it that I had an opportunity to talk about something that I think a lot of people would relate to. My favorite YouTuber Technoblade and his sense of ironic humor. And maybe you've never heard of Technoblade before. Maybe you don't relate to him as a person. But surely you relate to the idea of entertainment. There is a... I thought there... Yeah, there he is. Skeleton, and I've used up all of my arrows aiming at the dark. He's going to do my job for me. Okay. Even if you don't know who Technoblade is and don't relate to him as a person, you relate to the idea of entertainment and how we look for things to amuse ourselves and to occupy our time when we've got nothing else to do with it, nothing more important. We all kind of look to this thing for an off valve, an escape, a way to take a break from all of the issues that life has. Okay, there we go. That's all it. And what I was talking about in the stream, it essentially boiled down to the question for a Christian. Oh, got the wrong weapon in hand here. Should not have let down my shield, I think. For a Christian, is it okay for someone like me to enjoy, say, ironic humor? And ironic humor especially because it's a kind of two-sided humor. You're saying something that you don't really intend. You intend for it to be taken a different way. I think maybe the tunnels are lit up well enough for my purposes. I can come back here and deal with the monsters later, but I was really trying to secure that one branch. I'm just double checking this area. Was trying to secure that one branch and see if I could put my portal there. Kind of close to where I'm going to make my base, but not so close that that I'm constantly annoyed by the sounds of the portal. Let's see, how did I get down here? Follow the torches. There we go. So since irony is a kind of two-sided sense of humor, does it make sense for Christians who are supposed to be who are supposed to follow the truth and who are supposed to speak the truth to appreciate and enjoy and seek out that kind of humor for entertainment? And the conclusion that I came to during the last stream was that, well, God employs irony. He uses it to, at least to communicate. The whole Bible is essentially a work of irony, and it's perfect as that because it reflects the state of our world, which is broken. Yeah, this, I think, was the place that I was considering putting the portal. So this looks like a nice aesthetic spot. And I gave a few examples of how God seems to employ irony and responds to irony in the Bible. So, as Christians, we're supposed to be representatives of God. We're supposed to be like God, kind of in the sense that a mirror is like the person who stands in front of it. The mirror does not take on personhood, so we're not going to be like God so much that we're going to take on godhood. But we are to present a accurate image of who he is to the world. Okay, so I just like filling in those spots, and then I'll dig this out. It's easier than jumping and pillaring and trying to fill in that space. And I set aside that. Okay. There we go. Now, I want to get my bearings before I go in there. Yeah, that's... putting it all the way down this tunnel may actually be working against myself, because I'm going to get myself all turned around by the time that I get there. But we'll see how this works. Let's see. Excuse me. Now I want this granite back. I'm going to take the copper in there. I'm not putting everything in the bundle right away because I want to... I think the bundle releases items in reverse order from how you put them in. So I don't want to fill it too much because I want to be able to access the things in it right away. Okay, horse. And the sun is overhead. That is west. And that's the direction of my home. And when I had the original base, I would be facing this way going down the ladder, and I would be facing this way when I was facing the portal. So I was facing south. I would be facing south when I came out into the Nether. So now, that is south. This ladder that I've made faces east. Let me make a water jump pit down here. That's why I brought 2 buckets, so I could make an infinite water source when I arrived. Okay, time to get back on track again. So I was talking about how Christians are to be a representatives of God. We're kind of trying to reflect God the same way that a mirror reflects a person. That doesn't change the fact that the mirror is not a person, but the mirror nevertheless is supposed to give as accurate an image of a person as possible. So hopefully that's pretty clear. And I'll just leave that bucket empty because I might want to use it to get some lava when I get to the Nether, just to have on hand. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out how the image of God thing ties in, because it affects the kind of humor that I would choose. I want to choose the humor that God would himself accept and approve of. So, because I'm trying to reflect who God is. Okay, this is east. This wall is going to be east. Juggling a lot here, trying to navigate. I'm heading south. Okay, and this is facing south. That's kind of nice that it's facing the same way as the other portal. But I am north of the other portal, so it should be in front of me. Oh, why am I right in front of lava? Sorry if this is sickening to folks. Can I? I can't even dig. There's not much I can do. Let me see if I can dig behind it. Let me get out of the nausea-inducing portal here. You see that lava? You see that lava on the other side? There it is. Okay. What a mess. Okay. that is like the perfectly wrong spot to have that portal. Okay, let me fill up let me empty out a space here. Is there no way to place? There's no way to place this to the blocks the lava. Oh, this is like Deathtrap Portal. There we go. That makes it a little safer, I hope. Okay, now I have a place to stand. Ah! I will get back on track in a moment, folks. Rather close. Anyway, the humor that I use for my entertainment should reflect the values that that God has. It should be something that God himself would approve of and enjoy. And so I identified, okay, irony is something that God does seem to enjoy. If I mean, he employs it all the time. It looks like he actually does enjoy ironic humor. So that's good. I don't have to worry too much about that. Gotta dig myself out here, because I'm supposed to be heading in that direction. But, okay, so if ironic humor is okay, but what about humor that has a different perspective than God does? For instance, I mentioned that Technoblade jokes about killing orphans as part of the, I would say, a fictional persona that he's created to entertain his audience on the internet. And, of course, God would not approve of killing orphans for any reason. Self-defense maybe, but you're not killing them because they're orphans. You're killing them because they are attacking you. That would be the only thing. So, is that something that I should... Oh, I've got my bundle I can use to collect that. There we go. Should I find the prospect of killing orphans humorous? And I would say that that does not match with God's values. I would say that's a joke God probably does... Well, I'd say certainly does not enjoy. Not God's sense of humor. I'm probably getting myself... No? I'm not getting myself in trouble here? I am asking for it, though. Hold on. There we go. I think it's okay. Ah! I am dead. Ha ha ha. And all of my items are probably gone in the lava too. Look at that. So let's go to the portal and see. I did not even wind up. Okay. Well, what have I? Okay, so that looks useful. And There we go. So we're starting over. By the time we get there, we'll probably be... Oh, no. Yeah, I don't want to be here without armor. But all of my items are going to be destroyed by the time I arrive anyway, so I just may as well accept that I'm starting from zero. We're going mining. Okay, so basically, what do I do if the entertainment that I enjoy is not entertainment that God enjoys? And I'm not going to say that I enjoy jokes about murdering orphans. I enjoy the other jokes that Technoblade tells. He's got he's a smart guy. He's got a way of talking about the nature of the world without actually directly addressing it. You know what he's saying, and when you pick up on it, you feel pretty smart for catching it. And you've got to admit that, yeah, the world is broken, and of course that's the sense that irony works in, acknowledging the brokenness of the world. And what he says makes a lot of sense. So there's truth in what he says, and I think I'll use that shovel someday. There's truth in what he says, and I think that's the good part of his humor. I think that's where his humor actually does glorify God, because God is I believe God is the origin of all truth. There is nothing true that does not come from God. Now there is the reality that our world is broken, is imperfect. That is not how God wants the world to be. It is where the world deviates from what God has made it that makes that reality true. I'm going to miss that bundle, so I am going to go rabbit hunting again, folks. And I've heard that if you hold a dandelion in your offhand, the bunnies might actually come to you. So we'll look into that. Great. I do not want to fight a skelly. Okay, it's burning, it's burning, it's burning. It's not burning. And it has some spider friends who I would love to kill, but I can't get over there. I'll just focus on finding a dandelion and chasing some bunnies. I think part of how I would explain the relationship I feel God has to truth, God being the creator of the universe, everything that is real finds its origin in him. And I think one of the best tools we have for identifying truth... Skeleton gone? Okay, great. Hello, friend. Or not friend. I think one of the best tools we have for identifying truth is logic. And it's a good question. Does logic exist because humans exist? Is logic a product of human minds? Or does logic exist outside of humans? Logic acts like a mental construct. It helps us to think about the world. It helps us to realize what truth is. It doesn't exist as a physical entity. It's a thought process. And yet, even if there were no humans, the world would behave logically. So where does logic come from if it's only useful to beings with minds, and yet it exists even though sapient beings like us, sentient sapient beings like us, do not, if we did not exist, it would still be here. And I'd suggest that's because there is a mind that created the universe. That would be God's mind. And the universe runs according to the principles that God had in mind when he put it together. Okay, there's some bunnies. Let's see if they come to me since I'm holding this dandelion. Oh, you interested? Okay, works pretty well. Hi! This is much easier than the last time I was doing this. So I've got 3 hides so far. I think I'll aim for 7 and see if I can craft that bundle. So where humor reflects the truth of the world, the way that God understands it, I think that humor glorifies him, and that would be no matter where that humor is coming from. I've got 5 now. And so that is the kind of humor that I want to take in, is the humor that reflects truth and takes us closer in that direction. I may as well have a look around the temple while I'm here. See if there's anything useful in the chest in the bottom. Because there can be diamonds in the temple, right? Rabbit's foot? I don't know what that's for. I'll have to find out. So here's what I find is the entertainment that the world offers is a mixed bag. There's good in it, there's bad in it, and I want to appreciate the good in it. I want to not get Creeper in here. Wish I could get him to set off the TNT and not me, but at least he can make a hole in the floor that maybe I can take advantage of. I'm being extra careful. I know more confident people probably jump down and just try not to hit that panel, but I'm just going to treat the floor like lava right now, I think. Okay. I don't really use those, but we've got string. This is what I'm eating for now. I don't have any horses. Might want a saddle. Hey, there's iron. Great. I can at least get a... Oh, I should have... Well, I don't have a way to light this place up. Sorry, folks. There we go. Okay, so yeah, the humor that I find in the world is mixed in that there's truth in it, but often there's elements in it that I would say are in opposition to my values. What am I supposed to do with that? How do I, as a Christian, who another thing I've mentioned this before, another thing that we're supposed to do is we're supposed to reflect God's holiness. God is separate from the world. He has a different set of standards than the world, and he holds true to those standards. And when I say the world, I mean then people who don't live according to God's values. So how am I supposed to reflect God's holiness and yet also God's love, in the sense that we appreciate the people around us, we And listen, if you're a parent and your kid draws on a piece of artwork, it's all scribbles, and it doesn't have right proportions, and it doesn't reflect the truth of the world at all. It doesn't look anything like realism. Do you hate on your kid because he can't get the drawing perfectly right? No, you put it on your fridge. You appreciate what he tried to do with the limited skills he had. Let's see if I can make a bundle now. Okay, so I only need 6 rabbit hide. That's cool. Okay, I'll just leave that there for now. I can make a shield. Let me go ahead and do that because I'm feeling kind of exposed out in the middle of nowhere. I don't know how soon the sun is going to go down. There we go. And we go home. And there's also a spiritual element to this question too, because I do believe that we're more than just a body. We're more than just a mind. We have a spiritual side that can be damaged by the things that we take in. And I know if I take in a lot of content that has foul language, I eventually start thinking of more foul words just in the privacy of my thoughts. They're not words that I choose to say. I have to censor my thoughts because now they're becoming inundated by those kinds of things. The more time I spend away from foul language, the less those thoughts come up. So I recognize that the things that I take in change me as a person. And we get desensitized to certain thoughts. Like now that I've been following Technoblade's content for a while, the things that shocked me about it when I first started aren't so shocking now. Oh, that's Technoblade. That's just part of who he is and how he chooses to reflect it, to present himself. And yet I have to recognize that as a Christian, I shouldn't allow myself to be desensitized. I should be aware of the things that I'm taking in that God would not agree with. And I should be willing to set those things aside if they're things that God disapproves of. So on the one thing, I want to appreciate the good that shows up in the world, even from people who are not followers of God, people who, all humans are made to reflect God. So I want to appreciate the ways that every person reflects God. And I'm just going to ignore any monsters that I can ignore for now and just focus on getting to my base. Here's a skelly over there. Oh, and I lost all my saplings, but at least there's oaks close to my other base, so that should be fine. Okay, my entrance is over there. Tell you what, I'm going to... No, I'm not going to worry about morning. I'm going to get some iron. I will make a bucket. That would be useful. Okay. See, normally, if I died in lava, I would be quitting right now. So I am not doing that. And now this coal is suddenly useful. I don't think I've got a good answer for how I'm supposed to balance my entertainment choices. I think I'm seeing God's values on either side of the issue. God is love, but God is also holiness. It's a mixed... Entertainment is a mixed bag. And I don't think there is a black and white answer to the problem, or at least I don't see one. Scripture never clearly spells out, this is how you know what entertainment is good for you. It does give us principles. It says to dwell on the things of God, and it tells us not to love the things of the world. But when it says not to love the things of the world, I don't think it's saying not to love... Okay, yeah. I'm still acting like I'm in modded Minecraft here. Because I think for someone who's not a Christian, they'll hear the world and they'll think Earth, planet Earth. And so when they hear a phrase like, don't love the things of the world, which is a verse in the Bible, it's in the book of 1 John, which is a short book. I don't remember the exact reference. But they're going to think, okay, the Bible is saying don't love anything in the planet Earth. But God did create a lot of good things. The Earth is the product of God's handiwork. I love the fact that it shows God's skill as a designer. All designers are basically reflections of God as the designer. And hold on, lost my train of thought here. I'm just working something with my computer here. There we go. Okay, now I can continue. And my train of thought is good and lost. I will be working my way back to it. So here's what's going on in my head right now. Just so that you can follow why it is that I've suddenly stalled out again. I looked down at my chat and I saw that someone had commented in my chat and I missed yet another chatter. That's not what I want. I want to communicate with you folks. I want to be able to have two-way conversations. So missing people in chat does not align with my values. And of course, not the ideal situation. This particular chatter called out the truth. He said hello, as you can see in the chat replay. Said hello, called me a noob when I did not respond, which is fair. That's true. I am a very new streamer. I am not going to... I'm not going to give him a lot of fault. Obviously, people can be more polite than that. But he is stating the truth that I am a new streamer and I'm still learning all the skills I need to do. I don't expect people to show up in my chat at this point. Right now, last I checked, I went ahead and full screened the chat and, well, half screened the chat so that maybe the next time there's activity, I'll actually see it. But when I peeked at my viewers, I had a concurrent viewer of 1, which would be me, I assume. So that chatter has left, which is fair, because I am still learning how to be an interactive streamer. So that is why I am stalling out. I really do want to get back on topic. And I understand that one of the hazards of being a streamer is that people are not going to be nice, especially if you're not doing the job well. If I can't interact with folks the way they expect, then some people just are going to take that poorly and are going to call me names, and that is not necessarily a reflection on me. It's a reflection of who they are and how they deal with hardship. They have life lessons they need to learn too. I am truly a noob when it comes to streaming, and I don't need to take that as more than it actually is. However, there's a lot going on in my head at this time, causing me to stall out. And I would rather admit to you guys my faults. I'd rather be open. I don't want to pretend to be perfect and then get super embarrassed when I'm found out as if I were pretending to be perfect, then I would be a hypocrite. And that is one thing about being a Christian. People say that they choose not to be Christians, not because they believe that Christianity is untrue. Some people, I'm sure many people, don't believe Christianity is untrue, and that's why they don't choose to be Christians. I don't know that I need all of the rest of this coal. I'll just leave one square open so I know what's back here, like I did with the obsidian. But many people say that they choose not to become Christians because Christians are hypocrites. And that is not something that Christianity promotes. Jesus was very opposed to hypocrites when he was on Earth. Oh yes, I forgot you all were down here. Now this guy wants to blow me up, but if he can't see me, he can't blow me up. There we go. Okay. So I would much rather admit to you that I am not perfect. I am still beginning as a streamer, and my entertainment choices are not perfect. I am still trying to figure out what kind of entertainment God would want me to have and what he would not want me to have, what he would not want me to pay attention to. And there may even be times where I should know when God does not want me. Okay, I'm going to have to deal with this now. There may even be times where I should know what God would want me to do about my entertainment, and I may choose not to, and I do not condone those kinds of choices. I'm not saying that's a good thing. I think in that case I really would be hypocritical, where I know what to do and don't do it. I'm admitting that that is a possibility. I may not always live according to my values. Not just as a streamer because I'm a noob, but also as a person because I am a human, and part of that is being a sinful human. Now I got another dungeon here. I think the dungeon I saw last time was closer to base 2. So let's claim this one. So the last thing I want you to think is that I think I'm perfect in any way. I don't have all the answers. My goal is to live in keeping with the answers I have, but I may not even do that right. Okay, got some iron here. Not enough to make a pickaxe. I'm just going to see what I can mine from this area. And I've got plenty of coal, so I can certainly create all the torches I need. Let's see, I know I was talking about God being a designer. I'm going to have to figure that where that connected. I think I am doing a better job about getting back on track. I know what I was talking about. I just don't know how the tangent connected to what I was last saying. Okay, so let me create another pickaxe here. And there we go. Oh, I could create a bow. I could make a bow. And then that would help me with some of the monsters down here. Tell you what. Let's just do this the fast way. Nope, I did that already. There we go. Now I'm all set. There we go. Let me just get back to the beginning of the thought that I was having, and then when I listen back to the stream, as I always do, I'll probably figure out what tangent I dropped, and I'll get back to God as a designer in a future stream. Yeah, I do not want you to swim up here. And yet I do want to fight you. So how do we work this out? Oh, that's a perfect spot for you. Okay. So sorry, my gears are grinding mentally here. Not coming up with a lot. Because I'd like to fully address the topic that I had. Just as I was about to get started again. There we go. I think the main point. I'm coming to the main point here. Actually, the fellow in chat actually helped me to get around to where I'm coming. Regarding Technoblade, currently, I'm erring on the side of enjoying what he does because what he does is actually better than a lot of the material that's out there. I do want to be aware of where I may be doing myself spiritual harm in the entertainment that I'm taking in, the thought processes that I continually expose myself to for the sake of enjoyment. I don't want to be doing myself spiritual harm. There's that saying, and I won't be able to say it in words. I mean, word for word. But the idea is be careful of your thoughts because they become your words. Be careful of your words because they become your actions. Be careful of your actions because they become your habits. And be careful of your habits because they become who you are. So that's the concern regarding spiritual things is what is the slippery slope that I might be sliding down for the sake of what I currently enjoy? And should I be developing in that direction as a person, or should I be moving away from the things that I enjoy currently so that I can enjoy better and be more edifying to others? Okay, nothing's coming up behind me. Sometimes when there's a lot of mobs in an area, it's because there's a dead end nearby. Everything else is so lit up that the monsters fill up the dead end. There we go. I hear something else down there. I think it's just the skeletons I've been dropping down that hole. Okay, so I've got plenty of torches now to see what's going on around here. There we go. Okay, yeah, all of those monsters derailed me again. I can't wait until I have a habit for my thoughts, because some of my favorite videos from Technoblade are when he used to play Sky Wars, and he's fighting off people left and right, and he's able to maintain a line of thought and not get derailed, even though he's fighting 3 guys all at once. And I'm going, how do you do that? That's amazing. I mean, I can't even remember to eat food so I can heal properly. So. Let me take care of that now. Get away from where the monsters are going to be developing. I have plenty of food. It's going to be slow healing, but I've got plenty of food. Okay. So here's my prediction. When the lush biome caves come into play and they've got those glowberry plants, I think people will probably be choosing to plant the glowberry vines and use bone meal to make glowberries, and that's how we're going to be lighting our tunnels from now on instead of torches, because there's always skeletons down here. And you wind up with bones in your inventory, and if you're not near your farm at the moment, then there's not really anything to do with the bones except use the bone meal to light the tunnels, which is something we need to do too. So I think it's going to change the way we do mining once those plants become part of the game. So I was talking about I'm not perfect. My entertainment choices are not perfect. I'm trying to be aware of the influence that my entertainment choices have on me spiritually and in my lifestyle and in the pattern of my thoughts. The Bible tells us not to conform to the pattern of this world, but to be transformed. That's where the God is a designer connected. Because I was saying that a lot of people might hear the words the world and think that what's meant is earth. We're not supposed to attach ourselves to anything in the earth, but God designed all this good stuff in the earth, and we're supposed to appreciate God's qualities as a designer. So clearly, when we're not supposed to love the things of the world, it doesn't mean everything in the earth. Now that verse I'm referring to that says don't love anything in the world kind of gives us the answer, because it gives us 3 categories for what the things are that are in the world. And the 3 categories it gives us, it says, for example, the lust of the eyes is one that it talks about, and the lust of the flesh, and the pride of life. And I think people who are not familiar with the Bible are going to scratch their heads and say, what's all that about? There may be some room for interpretation here on what that means for everyone individually. The Bible tells us not to covet, so I think where the word lust is involved, that the word basically means longing for something that's not yours. It's the idea of coveting. It doesn't just relate to human sexuality. It also relates to you might lust for a hot car that you would love to be able to drive around, that you'd love to be rich enough to own. And if you're looking at a car that someone in particular owns, then that you're coveting that person's car. I think that's how that works. Of course, these words are older English words, so I'm not sure if I've got the meaning exactly right, but those are the basic ideas. So we look for things that fit those categories. Those are the things that we're not supposed to love in the world. And a lot of the values that people have do follow those kinds of things. They want to, they long for possessions that they see. They long for status, which seems like the pride of life. Seems like that would fit that category. People long for just what's going to satisfy their physical desires. That's why people get addictions like alcohol or to various drugs. And so I have to be careful with my entertainment choices. How close am I drifting to those areas? How is that influencing me spiritually? How is that affecting the pattern of my thoughts? And I'm not to conform to the pattern of this world. I am to be transformed by the renewing of my mind, according to the verse that I'm quoting now. It's in the book of Romans. Wish I could remember the reference properly. I'll have to look these up and then I'll quote them later and give you a better reference. Not that I expect most people to be looking up these verses themselves, but if you're interested, then I would like to be better about giving you that information. Okay, so this is that spider dungeon that I claimed. Still don't have much iron. So I'll see if I can make it back to my base, because I feel lucky to have just made it this far. I should say I feel blessed to have just made it this far. Okay, I did not explore that tunnel. So I was talking about the Bible encourages us to have our minds renewed, and I believe the understanding behind that passage is we're supposed to be searching Scripture for God's input on what we're supposed to be valuing. And maybe we like a particular thing that He doesn't. We need to be willing to give up what we like that God does not. Iron! I probably missed a bunch of iron coming to this point because I just want to make sure I can find my way back to my base. But iron! Right now I'm just moving up and seeing if that gets me anywhere. This is where planting the torches on the walls would be really handy, and I do have I did have a good amount of coal in my inventory. It's still pretty good. I could probably be less efficient about where I'm placing my torches. This is not it. I think the basic point of the track I'm on now is that Christians are aware that it's not always about doing what feels good to us. Sometimes what feels good in the moment is what's most harmful to you, because you adapt to a certain way of thinking that is not valuable. Another passage in Scripture says everything is permissible, but not everything is beneficial. And obviously, we want to be doing what is most beneficial for us and others. Regarding Techno's content, I think he's doing his best, I think, to present content that the most people are going to enjoy. He does a good job about keeping it clean, even if his jokes do still have an edge to them. I think I can appreciate that and find value in that. It may be that I later come to the conclusion that that's not the kind of entertainment I want to pursue, but there's also value in recognizing where people are doing the right thing, where people, as mixed up and imperfect as we are actually demonstrating the goodness of God in what we do. It may not be perfectly demonstrating his goodness, but it is, let's see, where's the darkest spots here? May not be perfectly demonstrating his goodness, but his goodness is showing everywhere. Evil cannot exist on its own. Bad is incapable of existing on its own. There's always some good that has been twisted away from what it is meant to be. And so it's always going to be a mixed bag, and we've always got to ask ourselves, okay, where's the line here? Is this something that I can find good in, or is this something that's going to be too harmful for me to pursue? Okay, I'm going to focus now on, I think I've hashed out the subject just about as much as I can. Half of my future audience is probably asleep, has probably clicked out of the video here, so that's, obviously that's fine. I am going to develop in my ability to carry thoughts and know when they are fully carried. Let's see. Okay. So the goal is to get back to base 1. Why is that on that side? That's because that's where I came from. This place is starting to look more explored because I'm seeing more sideways torches. And then I'll have to... Base 1! Okay, cool. And now I have to figure out a way to get down here. So we make sure there's 2 spaces to stand in. We get some trapdoors. I don't think I'm going to need that wool. Well, I can just bundle it. So it did cross my mind. Someone who comes to the channel and calls me a noob is clearly a noob to the channel. Because otherwise they would know that that's exactly what I am. I am clear and upfront about my goals and my approach to streaming and running a YouTube channel. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 5 here. I can block that in. Okay, so since I've talked myself out, and let's see, how long have I been running here? I can't see how long the stream has been going, but it's about time, I think, that I can back out. And then I think I'm done on the Technoblade topic for now. Tell you what, let me just go ahead and make a catch here. 2. Harder than it sounds, making a catch. You know what I should do? Is just get rid of that water. Okay. I do not want to fight a witch. I do not want to fight a witch. Oh, I will fight a witch. As long as I keep hitting her, she should keep trying to heal herself, and then she won't have a chance to fight me. Ah! So much for that. Let me go down and see if I can salvage those items. Okay. I'm hearing mobs, so maybe this is the way I'm supposed to go. I'm supposed to be hearing water. There we go. This tunnel system is weird. So that's my catch, and then I was going this way, I think. Okay, I hear her. Anyway, now that I've hashed this out... Where is she? She can still poison me? I'm doing a miserable job here. I am going to die again, but at least I can get back to my items. As long as I don't push her to that lava where she kills me. Okay, I'm fine. And how much of my items fell in here, I wonder? Ignore that. I think I've got mostly everything. So good. I'm going back home. And then I'll wrap up the stream. So there's one. How many blocks am I in? How many blocks in am I? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I can close it up there. All right, so I think I am pretty safe here. Thank you very much for listening to all my rambles. Now I can see how long I've been. It's been about an hour. So I'm about at the end of my current level of endurance. And next time, probably we're going to work on acquiring enough armor for iron. And then we're going to go through here. And let me get my bearings real quick. Because that's facing south, right? So I'm going to be heading north. Okay. So we'll go through here and then we'll head north once I get some iron. And see if I can connect with that other portal. Thanks for watching and God bless.